There is a prayer unlike any other. It is not performed in crowded mosques with the sound of voices echoing. It is not announced by loud calls or displayed in front of others. It is quiet. It is hidden. It is deeply personal. It is the prayer of the broken-hearted, the desperate, and the hopeful. This prayer comes when the world is asleep, when the streets are silent, and even the stars seem to shine a little brighter. It is in these moments that the soul longs to connect with its Creator, away from distractions, away from judgment, away from everything that pulls us down during the day. For the broken-hearted, this prayer is healing. A person might walk into the night with a heart shattered by betrayal, loss, or disappointment. And when they stand before Allah in those hidden hours, they pour out their pain without needing to hide their tears. No one interrupts, no one minimizes their feelings, no one says move on. Because the one they are speaking to already knows the depth of their wounds. In this sacred moment, their heart is stitched back together with hope, with peace, and with the knowledge that Allah sees every tear and hears every whisper. For the desperate, this prayer is lifeline. Maybe it's someone overwhelmed by debt, someone weighed down by illness, or someone drowning in worries about the future. In those dark hours, they raise their hands and plead, Ya Allah, I have no way out but you. And it is in that raw, vulnerable state that they feel closest to Allah. Their weakness becomes their strength because they are relying on the one who is never weak. Their desperation turns into trust because they know that no matter how impossible the situation looks, Allah can change it in an instant. And for the hopeful, this prayer is joy. Imagine someone with a dream, a goal, or a sincere wish, maybe to get closer to Allah, maybe to build a family, maybe to find peace after years of struggle. They wake up at night not only to ask, but to celebrate the fact that Allah has given them this private audience. Their hope shines brighter than their exhaustion. They whisper their du'as with a heart full of faith, knowing that even if the answer doesn't come immediately, it is being prepared in the most perfect way. This prayer, this quiet, hidden prayer, is special because it strips away all pretense. During the day, we often pray quickly, rushing through our tasks, surrounded by noise. But at night, there is no rush. There is no show. There is just you and Allah. And in that silence, every word becomes powerful, every tear becomes meaningful, and every moment becomes a doorway to mercy. It doesn't matter if you pray with long recitations or short ones. It doesn't matter if you speak eloquently or stumble over your words. What matters is the sincerity, the honesty, the rawness of your heart. That is what Allah loves. That is what transforms a simple prayer into something life-changing. So if you ever feel broken, desperate, or even simply hopeful rise in the night, make this prayer your refuge. Let your heart speak in ways it cannot during the day, because the night is not just for sleeping. The night is for healing. The night is for surrender. The night is for standing before the one who knows you better than anyone else. And in those quiet hours, you will discover something extraordinary, that the prayer of the broken-hearted, the desperate, and the hopeful is not only heard, it is cherished by the one who never leaves you alone. There is something almost indescribable about the night. When the sun sets and the noise of the day fades, a different kind of silence takes over. The world that felt overwhelming just hours ago now feels still. Streets are empty, phones stop ringing, and even your own thoughts begin to slow down. And it is in this very stillness that the night prayer finds its hidden power. Unlike the prayers of the day that are often performed in the middle of busy routines, the night prayer exists in a different atmosphere altogether. There are no deadlines pressing you, no conversations distracting you, no responsibilities pulling you in different directions. At night, it is just you, the darkness, and Allah. This simplicity creates a space of intimacy that is almost impossible to find during the day. One of the hidden powers of the night prayer is how it teaches you to step away from the noise of the world and rediscover the voice of your soul. During the day, we are constantly surrounded by external demands, people asking for our time, tasks waiting for our attention, and problems screaming for solutions. But in the night, all of that pauses. The quiet gives you a chance to actually listen not only to the whispers of your own heart, but also to the mercy of Allah that seems to surround you more tangibly in those sacred hours. There is a unique strength in knowing that while the world sleeps, you are awake in worship. Most people are lost in dreams, but you are standing in front of the Creator of dreams. That reality alone carries a sweetness. It makes you feel chosen. It makes you realize that you are answering a call not everyone hears, but one that is always there. It is the call of Allah inviting you to His mercy, inviting you to lay your worries at His feet, inviting you to draw near to Him in the most vulnerable way possible. Another hidden power of the night prayer is the way it strips away pretenses. In the day, we sometimes perform worship in ways that are influenced by others we want to be seen praying. We want to be known as committed, or we feel pressured to fit into the expectations of our community. But at night there is no one watching, no one sees you leave your bed, no one hears your whispers, no one knows the tears that fall except Allah. And that's the beauty, because sincerity thrives when there is no audience except the one who matters most. The night prayer also has a hidden power in how it shapes the heart. Every time you choose to wake up, even for a few moments, you are training your soul to put Allah above comfort. You are teaching yourself that His closeness is worth more than sleep, that His love is worth more than rest. And over time, this training transforms you. It makes your faith stronger, your heart softer, and your connection with Allah deeper. You begin to feel His presence not just in the prayer, but throughout the day that follows. The night prayer carries a sweetness that many people describe but cannot fully capture. It is the sweetness of being seen by Allah when no one else sees you. It is the sweetness of whispering your secrets to Him and knowing they are safe. It is the sweetness of making dua in the quiet and realizing that even before your lips move, Allah already knows what is in your heart. These moments create a peace that lingers long after the night is over. What also makes the night prayer powerful is the sense of being prioritized by Allah's mercy. It feels as if the gates of the heavens are open wider, as if His compassion descends closer to the earth. You can sense the opportunity, the chance to be forgiven, the chance to be heard, the chance to receive blessings that cannot be measured in this world. And while others are unaware of this gift, you are awake to receive it. That realization alone fills your soul with gratitude. And perhaps one of the greatest hidden powers of the night prayer is the way it makes you feel less alone. Life can be heavy. Pain, stress, heartbreak, and loneliness can weigh on even the strongest of hearts. But when you rise at night, when you prostrate on the floor in complete surrender, you realize something profound. You were never alone in the first place. Allah has been with you all along, waiting for you to turn to Him in these sacred hours. That awareness itself changes everything. A broken heart can feel heavier than any physical weight. It is the kind of pain that lingers in silence, the kind that no one else can see, but you carry everywhere you go. You smile in front of people, but inside it feels like your soul is bleeding. For many, the night becomes the hardest part of the day. When everything slows down and distractions fade, the ache in the heart grows louder. Yet it is in this very moment of brokenness that the night prayer becomes a sanctuary of healing. The beauty of standing before Allah at night is that you don't have to pretend. During the day, we often cover our wounds because we don't want to look weak. We say I'm fine even when we're not, but in the stillness of the night, you don't need to wear any mask. You can come exactly as you are, broken, tired, and hurting, and Allah welcomes you with mercy. There is no need for polished words, no need to hide your tears. Every sigh, every sob, and every trembling whisper is heard and cherished by the one who understands you better than you understand yourself. For the broken-hearted, the night prayer is like a safe place to let everything out. When you place your forehead on the ground in sujood, you are not just fulfilling an act of worship, you are releasing the weight of your pain. You are telling Allah with your posture, I can't carry this alone anymore, I need you. And somehow, in the act of bowing down, your heart begins to feel lighter. The sadness doesn't always disappear immediately, but it becomes bearable because you know you are not carrying it by yourself. Many people describe how the night prayer becomes a turning point after heartbreak. Perhaps someone has lost a loved one, or their trust was betrayed, or their dreams collapsed. During the day, they feel numb, but in the night, when they pray, they feel alive again. The tears they shed in front of Allah are not wasted. They are like medicine for the soul. Each tear carries away a bit of the pain and replaces it with calmness. It is as if Allah himself is saying, I know your pain and I will take care of you. What makes this healing so powerful is the depth of intimacy. In human relationships, even the closest friends may not fully understand the storm inside your heart. People might comfort you, but their words often fall short. With Allah, there is no need for explanations. He already knows what shattered you, who hurt you, and why your heart feels heavy. He knows the parts of your story you could never put into words, and because he knows, he heals in ways that no one else can. Healing in the night prayer also comes through hope. A broken heart often whispers, things will never be the same again. But when you pray at night, you are reminded that Allah can replace loss with something better, betrayal with loyalty, and despair with peace. The prayer becomes a bridge from sorrow to hope, showing you that even the darkest nights are followed by dawn. This is not just poetry, it is a reality experienced by countless hearts that rose at night broken and found comfort they could not explain. Another layer of healing comes through perspective. When you are broken-hearted, it is easy to feel that life is unfair, that you are stuck in a storm without shelter. But the night prayer reshapes that view. It reminds you that heartbreak is not punishment, it is part of the journey. Sometimes Allah breaks your heart not to hurt you, but to bring you closer to Him, to teach you that real love, real safety, and real comfort can only be found with Him. That realization itself is a kind of healing because it transforms your pain into purpose. The silence of the night amplifies this healing process. Without distractions, your heart finally has room to breathe. The Quran you recite feels more personal. The du'as you make feel more urgent. And the peace you feel afterward is deeper than anything the world can give. The quiet of the night becomes a balm for the noise of your grief. And so, for the broken-hearted, the night prayer is not just an act of worship, it is a therapy. It is a gentle reminder that no matter how shattered you feel, you are still whole in the eyes of Allah. It is the assurance that your pain is not ignored, that your tears are not in vain, and that healing is not only possible, but promised by the one who created your heart in the first place. Desperation is a feeling that almost everyone experiences at some point in life. It is that crushing weight when you feel trapped, cornered, and unable to find a way forward. It might come from financial struggles, when debts keep piling up and you don't know how you'll ever escape. It might come from illness, when doctors give you no hope and you feel your body giving up. It might come from family problems, broken relationships, or the loneliness that eats away at the heart. Desperation makes you feel like the walls are closing in on you, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot break free. It is in moments like these that the night prayer becomes a lifeline. When everyone else is asleep, when no one is answering your calls, when even your own thoughts turn against you, that is when Allah's door is still wide open. In the quiet of the night, you find a safe space to pour your desperation out, to admit your weakness, and to call upon the one who is never weak. The lifeline of the night prayer lies in its intimacy. You don't need to explain your entire situation to Allah. You don't need to list every detail of your struggles or justify why you feel the way you do. He already knows. And because He knows, your dua can be as simple as, Ya Allah, help me, or even just silent tears falling on your prayer mat. Sometimes that is enough to remind your soul that you are not abandoned, that you are not forgotten. For the desperate heart, this prayer transforms weakness into strength. When you are desperate, you feel powerless. But when you lift your hands in the darkness and beg Allah for relief, you realize that power is not in your hands, it's in His. That realization removes the unbearable pressure of feeling like you must solve everything yourself. You begin to understand that your job is not to carry the universe on your shoulders, but to surrender it to the one who created the universe. So many stories exist of people who turned to the night prayer at the peak of their desperation and witnessed miracles. People who couldn't find jobs suddenly received opportunities. Those trapped in cycles of poverty found unexpected doors of provision opening. Patients who were told their sickness was incurable experienced healing. Couples who thought they would never have children were blessed in ways they never imagined. These stories are not coincidences, they are testimonies of what happens when a desperate heart clings to Allah in the quiet of the night. And even when the immediate outcome doesn't change, the night prayer still saves you. How? Because it gives you perspective. It teaches you that desperation is not the end, but a beginning. It's not a sign of your failure, but a chance to discover Allah's mercy in a way you've never felt before. Sometimes the miracle of tahajjud is not that your situation changes overnight, but that your heart changes, you gain patience, strength, and hope you didn't know you had. That inner shift can carry you through storms that would have otherwise broken you completely. The lifeline of the night prayer also lies in the feeling of being chosen. Think about it. Allah could have let you sleep through the night, but instead He nudged you awake. He allowed your desperation to bring you closer to Him. That alone is a sign that your pain is not meaningless. It is a tool that brought you to the prayer mat, to a place where real healing and real answers begin. And perhaps the most powerful part of this lifeline is the reminder that Allah's mercy is greater than your desperation. No matter how impossible your situation feels, no matter how many doors people have closed on you, Allah's mercy can open a door that no one even knew existed. That is why the night prayer is so precious, because it teaches you to stop relying on human solutions and start relying on divine ones. In the middle of the night, when your heart feels crushed by the weight of your problems, standing in prayer becomes a declaration of faith. Ya Allah, I cannot, but you can. And in that surrender, desperation transforms into hope. The very thing that once made you feel broken now becomes the rope that ties you closer to the one who never lets go. Hope is a beautiful feeling. It's the light that keeps us moving when life feels heavy. It's the spark that whispers, things can get better, doors can open, change is possible. For the hopeful, the night prayer is not only an act of worship, it is a celebration. It is a sacred meeting with Allah where every dream, every wish, and every goal is laid bare before the one who can make the impossible possible. During the day, hope often collides with reality. You dream of success, but bills and responsibilities weigh you down. You long for peace, but arguments and stress keep disturbing your mind. You pray for a better future, but the noise of the world distracts you. Yet, when night falls and the world grows silent, your hope finally has room to breathe. You step into prayer not as someone defeated by reality, but as someone fueled by the belief that Allah holds the future in His hands. For the hopeful, the night prayer is like watering a seed. Every dua is a drop of nourishment, every sujud is a moment of surrender, and every tear is a sign of trust. You may not see the tree immediately, but you believe with all your heart that one day it will grow, blossom, and shade you with its blessings. That belief alone makes the prayer sweet, because you know your effort is never wasted when it is directed toward Allah. The joy of hope in the night prayer is not only about asking, but also about trusting. It's the deep comfort of knowing that Allah listens to you even when no one else does. It's the relief of knowing that He is already aware of what you need before you even speak. Sometimes just raising your hands and whispering your dreams feels like enough, because you trust that Allah has already written the best outcome. That trust turns what could have been a moment of anxiety into a moment of peace. For those with big dreams, tahajjud is a source of strength. A student praying for success in exams, a parent praying for their child's future, a worker praying for stability, a soul praying for guidance, each of them carries their hopes to Allah in the quiet of the night. And when they rise from the prayer mat, they do not only carry hope in their hearts, they also carry motivation. It's as if the prayer recharges their spirit, reminding them that while they must strive, Allah is the one who provides results. The hopeful also find joy in the way night prayer connects them to their future in a spiritual sense. The thought that Allah could be shaping something beautiful for you behind the scenes is itself a source of excitement. You may not know when or how your dua will be answered, but the mystery becomes part of the sweetness. It's like being certain that a gift is on its way, even if you don't yet know the wrapping or the timing. That anticipation makes every prayer at night feel like a step closer to something extraordinary. Another joy comes from the realization that hope itself is a blessing. Not everyone carries it. Some people give up, lose faith, or stop believing in better days. But if you still wake up at night and ask, it means your heart is alive, your faith is intact, and Allah has allowed hope to remain in your chest. That is already a gift worth thanking Him for. Even when answers don't come quickly, the hopeful heart finds joy in the journey itself. It is not always about receiving what you want instantly, but about building a relationship with Allah in the process. Each night becomes a chapter in your story of trust, a record of your persistence, and a reminder that you never stopped believing in Allah's mercy. The night prayer teaches the hopeful that joy doesn't come only from fulfilled dreams, but also from knowing who you are asking. Even before the doer is answered, you already feel peace because your request has been placed in the most capable hands. This joy is deeper than any worldly accomplishment. It is the joy of knowing you are connected to the one who never fails his servants. When it comes to worship, especially the night prayer, many people hesitate because they feel they won't do it perfectly. Maybe they don't know long surahs by heart. Maybe they can't pray for an hour like the righteous before us did. Maybe they feel their Arabic isn't fluent, or their posture isn't graceful, or their concentration slips after a few minutes. And so, they give up before they even begin. But the truth is this: Allah does not demand perfection from you. He asks for sincerity. That is the beauty of night prayer. It is not about how flawless your recitation is, or how long you can stand. It is about whether your heart is truly present, whether your words come from a place of honesty, and whether you turn to Him with love and humility. Imagine a child running to their parent with messy hair, dirty clothes, and stumbling steps. The parent does not care about the mess. What matters is that the child came running with love. In the same way, when you wake up at night, tired and imperfect, Allah loves that you chose Him over sleep. Even if your prayer is short, even if your words are broken, your sincerity makes it beautiful in His sight. Sincerity means showing up as you are. It means whispering your du'as in your own words if you cannot recite many surahs. It means praying 2 rakahs from the heart rather than forcing yourself into a ritual that feels empty. The night prayer is not a competition. It's not a stage for performance. It's a private conversation between you and the one who knows you better than you know yourself. This is where the true freedom of tahajjud lies. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to compare your prayer with what others are doing. You don't need to feel ashamed if you prayed only for a few minutes. What matters is that you showed up, you prayed, and you were honest in your worship. Sincerity also makes night prayer accessible to everyone. The wealthy and the poor, the learned and the unlearned, the healthy and the weak, all can stand equally in front of Allah in the quiet of the night. It's not about eloquence or length, it's about heart. A few words of sincere dua from someone who barely knows how to recite are more powerful than hours of prayer recited without feeling. In fact, sometimes the simplest duas carry the most weight. A tear that slips down your cheek because of pain, a whispered "Ya Allah, help me," a quiet sigh of relief when you realize you're not alone. These small, sincere moments matter more than long, complicated prayers recited without meaning. Sincerity over perfection also means not waiting for the right time to start. Many people delay night prayer because they think, when I'm stronger in faith, when I know more surahs, when I'm less tired, then I'll start. But sincerity doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It blooms in the now. Even if you only manage 2 short rakahs before Fajr, even if you whisper your du'as in your own language, that moment still counts. It still rises up to Allah, carrying your heart with it. And here's something beautiful. Sincerity transforms imperfection into beauty. When you stumble, when you forget, when you feel weak but still turn back to Allah, that struggle itself is worship. Angels record not only your successes but also your effort, your attempt, your willingness to keep trying despite imperfection. Think about it. Perfection can sometimes lead to pride. A person who prays long hours flawlessly may feel proud of their ability. But the one who prays sincerely, even if briefly, understands humility. They know their prayer is small compared to Allah's greatness, and yet they keep offering it. That humility is beloved to Allah. Sincerity is also what makes night prayer sustainable. If you chase perfection, you will burn out quickly. You may manage a few nights of long prayers, but exhaustion will soon take over. But if you focus on sincerity, you will pray consistently, because sincerity doesn't demand more than what your heart and body can give. It allows you to grow naturally, step by step, until the prayer becomes a joyful part of your life. So let go of the pressure to be perfect, let go of the comparisons, let go of the fear of not being good enough. In the quiet of the night, it's just you and Allah. He sees your sincerity, and that is what makes your prayer valuable. There's something powerful about silence. During the day, life is loud traffic buzzing, phones ringing, conversations overlapping, endless notifications demanding attention. But at night, especially in those hours just before dawn, the world softens. The streets quiet down, the distractions fade, and even the air feels lighter. That silence is not empty, it's alive. It holds the whispers of the sincere, the cries of the broken, and the doers of those who trust in Allah's mercy. In this silence, the heart begins to speak in ways it never does during the rush of the day. The night prayer is not just a ritual, it's a transformation. You go into it carrying burdens, fears, and disappointments, but as you bow your head to the ground, you feel those weights begin to loosen. You whisper words no one else will ever hear, and yet you know they're being heard by the one who never forgets a single word. This transformation is quiet but profound. Sometimes you finish praying and realize your problem hasn't disappeared, the debt still exists. The illness is still there, the heartbreak hasn't magically healed. But something inside you has shifted. The weight feels lighter, the storm feels calmer, the pain feels bearable. That's the transformation of silence, not the immediate removal of hardships, but the strengthening of the soul to endure them with patience and hope. There is also a deep beauty in knowing that your voice joins a chorus of countless others across the world. People you will never meet are awake at the same time, whispering their hopes and tears into the silence. The world may be asleep, but in these sacred hours, the earth is alive with worshippers connecting to their Creator, and among them, you too are heard. That thought alone is enough to make the night prayer feel like an honor rather than a burden. The silence of the night also strips away pretenses. In the day, we may worry about how we appear to others, whether our recitation is flawless, whether our posture looks proper, whether others think we are pious. But at night, when no one is watching, all of that disappears. It's not about performance anymore, it's about authenticity. You come as you are, tired, flawed, imperfect, and yet loved, valued, and heard by Allah. That silence becomes a mirror. It reflects back the truth of your heart. Sometimes you realize how much pain you've been carrying without admitting it to yourself. Sometimes you realize how desperately you long for something you were too afraid to say out loud during the day. And sometimes in that stillness, you realize how much Allah has already blessed you, how much you already have, and gratitude begins to replace anxiety. That is transformation too. Even science acknowledges the power of silence and stillness. Psychologists talk about how quiet reflection reduces stress, clears the mind, and restores emotional balance. But for the believer, silence at night isn't just therapeutic, it's sacred. It's the space where divine mercy flows most abundantly, where forgiveness is nearest, and where hearts are reshaped in ways that no worldly method could achieve. Transformation in silence doesn't always come with grand, dramatic moments. Sometimes it's subtle, like a softening of the heart that makes you kinder the next day. Sometimes it's the courage to face a challenge that once terrified you. Sometimes it's just a newfound peace that helps you sleep better, knowing you've handed your worries over to Allah. Small changes, perhaps, but when added up over time, they become life-changing. And there's another layer to this transformation: consistency. The more you engage with the night prayer, the more the silence becomes familiar, even comforting. At first, it may feel difficult to wake up, to fight against the pull of sleep. But with time, the body adapts, and the heart begins to crave those moments of stillness. What once felt like a heavy task turns into a source of joy. The silence becomes your safe place, a retreat where you recharge, heal, and reconnect. Think about it. The Prophet described the night prayer as an honor, a light, and a closeness to Allah. That is because transformation doesn't come from loud displays, but from quiet consistency. The silence of the night, filled with sincerity, shapes you into someone stronger, calmer, and more connected to your Creator. It makes you realize that even when life feels overwhelming, you have a sanctuary waiting for you each night where mercy descends and peace is reborn.